To use Jackalope Jobs, all you need is a browser and the pin that was sent to your email from Jackalope Jobs. After you open up your browser, in the address bar, simply type dfwjobs.jackalopejobs.com. And this is what the website looks like. You start using the site by hitting the login button in the middle of your screen. Now you're presented with different options. You have the option to use LinkedIn or Facebook. In this example, we'll use LinkedIn. Here, JJ is asking LinkedIn to authorize you. All we're asking is for access to your connections to help you find a job. So you use your LinkedIn credentials at this part of the screen. And don't worry, Jackalope Jobs is not really accessing your password. We're simply asking LinkedIn's permission. Now, Jackalope Jobs is loading in your network. These are the connections that will help you find a job. Once your network is loaded, you'll be brought to your dashboard. Now, the first time you use Jackalope Jobs, you will be asked for the PIN that was sent to your email. You simply enter your PIN in the box here. Our suggestion is to copy that PIN from your email and paste it. It's very simple. And as a reminder, you will only need to enter your PIN once. Now your social network is loaded. Let's start looking for a job. You simply do that by entering a few search terms up at the upper left part of your screen in the search box. Here we're going to look for a sales job, and we're going to look for it in Dallas, Texas. What we see when we search is a lot of different jobs from lots of different companies. We can look at these different jobs and understand, hey, which one's interesting to me? We're going to click on the first one, a sales job at a company called Oracle. What's interesting here is this first job is on LinkedIn's job board. Let's take note of that as we look at our connections. And how do we look at them? To the right of each job, we are told how many connections might help us with the job. We can just click on that number, and here we have 41 at this job. I can look at all these names. These are all friends of mine, Michael, Kevin, and so on. What's real interesting is that the third one, he's actually from my Facebook network. So what we've noticed here is we have a connection from Facebook who can help us with a job on LinkedIn. What do we do with this information? Rather than trying to even look at the job or applying, I'm going to reach out. I do that by hitting the reach out button. And here I can simply indicate for this job which connections I'd like to reach out either via email or LinkedIn's messaging system and ask for their help on these jobs. Another powerful capability in Jackalope Jobs is the use of filters. You can access them on the left-hand side of your screen. Just by clicking on a few names, here I'm going to click on Alan and Chris, two close friends. By selecting those two, I can make a determination that two connections can help me with 40 different jobs in 3 different companies. Now what you notice as we look at these openings, we'll see that the first opening at AT&T, 4 of my 9 connections still work there. The second job, Dell, 1 of my 4 connections work there. And the last job at Citi, none of my connections are there currently. That's one way you can at least prioritize your efforts and focus your connections. Another way to use Jackalope Jobs, rather than look at jobs and my connections, I can flip that and look at my connections and their jobs by clicking on the Connections tab. Here, I can look at my social network and all the different jobs they can help me with. I have connections from LinkedIn, and I also have some from Facebook. Here I can look at one of my friends, Mike from college. There are 7 jobs he can help me with. Just by clicking on that 7, I can look at the different jobs and the fact that Michael can help me with 7 jobs in 2 different companies. I can look at other connections too. Here's another friend, Todd. I can click on his 12 jobs, and those are the 12 openings where he currently works. Another great way to understand how to leverage my network to find me a job. Just like in my Jobs tab, I can hit the Reach Out button here by each connection, and in this case, I'll be sending a friend a request for help on the jobs where he can help me. Here's a quick review of what we've seen so far. We've seen jobs from your search results. With that, we can also filter our connections and look at which connections can help us with which job. We also see that we can click on connections for each job. Now we'll talk about a new concept called watching a job. Watching a job is engaging with the job. Now let's look at a new search results screen. Here are a bunch of jobs. Some of these jobs might be interesting to me and some of them may not be. If there's a slight interest in the job or the company, go ahead and hit the watch button. It's just like hitting like on Facebook. You can hit that very quickly. This is important if you, again, like the company, but maybe don't like the job title. Maybe it's too junior for you, maybe it's too senior for you. The key thing is to simply start targeting interesting opportunities or opportunities where you may find a connection can help you at a later time. Now let's take a look at your jobs in your watch list. You can do that by simply clicking on the watch button in the upper right of your screen. Here, we're seeing the jobs that we watched from our previous screen. What's interesting is you still see filters by connections, by company, and so on. However, these filters are only for the jobs in your watch list, which represents your constantly evolving job search. I can continue searching by clicking on the search button in the top right of your screen and go back and do searches. I can enter new keywords, or I can take a look at the existing search and click on some new jobs. Here I'm watching more jobs. After I've watched a few more jobs, I go back to my watching screen, and one thing I notice is that I have more jobs that I'm watching, but my connections have changed. This is the significance. You may be doing this over the course of your job search. Have a session one day where you've watched a few jobs, go back a few days later, have new searches, and have new connections where you can start focusing your efforts. That's the benefit of watching. Over the time of your job search, you can see how your network connections change and where you should focus your efforts. To remove a job from your watch list, simply hit the Unwatch button next to each job. And that's watching a job. That's it for now. Thank you and happy job hunting.